to update the intro yet again. I saw some few goal celebrations against Hawthorn. Braden Maynard, Jordan De Goey, an updated one there. And hopefully include Will Hayes into the mix as well for the intro. He should be staying in the AFL side for the next few weeks, up until Bobby Hill returns. This is the VFL report for Collingwood's 9-point loss to Box Hill Friday night at the Kennedy Community Centre in Dingley. Box Hill, a Hawthorn affiliated side in Dingley. If you're following along, you can make it make sense, by the way. It's not a little dig at them. They deserve to win this game. 9-point win. Box Hill 16-13, 109 to Collingwood 15-10, 100. Another high scoring game for Collingwood in the VFL. 100 plus points. This time, though, we lose. It's 2 wins, 3 losses. Smack bang 100% for percentage. But we are starting to fall off in terms of the top 10. The wildcard purgatory spot, and we have Geelong next week, who are also in the top 6, top 2. There's no clear standout at the top of the VFL ladder. Footscray, or the Western Bulldogs, the defending VFL premiers, the reigning defending undisputed VFL premiers. Tasmania coming in, they're in the mix. They just lost last week, but they are in the mix early on. And you've got Box Hill, who are a consistent top VFL side. Geelong is back in the mix, but regarding Box Hill, hell of an effort. 12 AFL listed players for Collingwood here compared to Box Hill. They had 16 AFL listed Hawks players, and I don't think they had a carryover emergency. We didn't have any carryover emergencies for this one. We also had an injury out of this one. Lockie Sullivan with a knee to the head, likely concussion protocols, so he'll miss next week. So any talk or speculation or anything like that, if Lockie Sullivan was going to be called up to replace a Perryman or a side bottom or someone like that, that will unlikely happen. He'll unlikely play next week. And I wouldn't expect Bobby Hill to come in next week. I thought of this last night immediately after the game that Bobby Hill should return against West Coast. It's 2 weeks away. Scott Pendlebury most likely breaking the VFL AFL games record against the Eagles. Bobby Hill can just come in, so it's a celebration of Scott Pendlebury. Oh, by the way, Bobby Hill returns, sort of thing. Big crowd, but Bobby Hill wouldn't be under any pressure, is what I'm trying to say. But I reckon 2 more weeks, and then we can assess or reassess if Bobby Hill is ready for AFL level. Will Hayes is solid in the AFL squad right now. He's kicking goals, he's applying pressure. So no issues with Will Hayes, and we're not in a spot now where we're thinking or we're relying on Bobby Hill. There may be games against Geelong and Sydney where we go, all right, we need that pace, the gel, the glue, the speed, whatever you want to call it, up forward. Bobby Hill provides that. But for now, I think our forward line is ticking along nicely now in the AFL. VFL wise, yeah, we're scoring big sort of thing, but defensively, we're still conceding big scores. We should have conceded 100 plus against Carlton. They were inaccurate. Some solid performances in the VFL from AFL listed players, and also some returning heads in the VFL, I was going to say AFL, but VFL side. Will Phillips, 20 plus disposals, first game for Collingwood. I'll cut him some slack as well in the midfield. I know 20 plus disposals, not 30 plus or anything like that, but first game back, going forward, you'd expect him to be having 30 plus disposals, having that impact on the game. So I reckon the match fitness was what got him in the end. But this game against Box Hill was a bit of a bizarro game. The midfield, I reckon that battle goes to Hawthorn. They won the disposals plus 56, but the clearances were split. They hit out slightly in Collingwood's favour, but the inside 50s go to Collingwood. And that's off our rebound 50s, quick transition, or not as quick, but guys like Jacob Ryan, Noah Howes intercepting well early on, Sam Swaddling kicking much better in this sort of game. And I thought Taj Woden had his best game for Collingwood. I think it was Taj Woden because whoever it was on the far side of the division, switching it up sort of thing, it was very difficult to see who it was. Someone in the 50s, their number. I'm going to assume it was Taj Woden up the ground. Definitely his best game. Oscar Forkhead, I thought, played his best game for Collingwood here in 2026. But against Box Hill, you need to take your chances. You need to be almost perfect for this sort of game. We were 13 goals 5 late in the third quarter, and we end the game on 15 goals 10. Don't want to single out certain players, but little moments like Charlie West with a set shot 30 metres out on a slight angle, something he'd kick 8 times out of 10. Misses that before three-quarter time, and 9 points up at three-quarter time to losing by 9 points. So a 3-goal swing in that final quarter. This game didn't go beyond 21 points, so basically 3 goals, to be honest. Box Hill starts the game with 3 goals. We claw our way back. It was almost like 2 steps forward, 1 step back from the time Hawthorn or Box Hill got their third goal. And we got the lead on the halftime siren through Jai Saxena. And then we started very good in that third quarter. 3 goals in the first 5 minutes. Bobby Hill kicks a goal, directly involved in the other two. And then Bobby Hill gets dragged. And I know that Bobby Hill was on limited and restricted minutes. I get that. But I just wonder, Bobby Hill being dragged 5 minutes into the third quarter, did that cost us the momentum? Did this cost us the win against Box Hill? It was set up for an upset win for us, technically, even though I still have that teeny tiny hope that Collingwood's going to be involved in VFL finals, top six, but that hope is starting to dwindle. 2 and 3, 14th spot as of this recording, and Geelong, a top two side next week. And that's either going to be at Victoria Park, 12:05 on a Saturday. It should be broadcasted on ABC, but I'm hoping to actually attend this game in the VFL because I won't be going to the AFL. But it's a watch this space. It could be relocated to the KGM Centre or somewhere else neutral. But that's a watch this space because Victoria Park, if you have a look at it, it's not it. I'm hoping it's not relocated or it's not rescheduled to a Friday game. Otherwise, I will squeal. Unless it's a Friday night, like this game against Box Hill. Now, happy for you guys to call me out on this, but I just think, well, watching it early on, and my vision did improve during the game, but I thought it was too dark. Just me personally, I thought they needed either one more set of lights or their lights need to be brighter. But we got through the game unscathed. There was no power outage or lights didn't go out, so it's not a state league football game. But the Kennedy Community Centre, it's a very good ground. It's a good venue. But Dingley on a Friday night, no bueno for me. I was hoping to go to Box Hill on a Saturday afternoon to watch this VFL game, but not to be. But also, congratulations to Box Hill. This was their 500th VFL game. And also, they've got the head to head ledger over us. That's now 11 wins and 10 losses. I was surprised by the head to head, and I'm also surprised by Box Hill's history in the VFL. So it was a bit of a celebration for Box Hill, for the VFL side, just their history there. And we were hopefully going to ruin the party, but wasn't to be, unfortunately. So just on the team stats, again, minus 56 in disposals. We won the hitouts thanks to Smith and Bryn Teakle in the ruck, even though Max Ramsden kicked a few goals. Clearances were even, but I thought Hawthorn or Box Hill, sorry, I keep mixing up the Hawks sort of thing, but bear with me. I thought Hawthorns, Box Hills, Hawks, uh, yeah, their midfield was better compared to ours, even though Ed Allen had another good game in the VFL. We won the tackles +9. Again, bizarro game with Collingwood being +19 in inside 50 entries. It wasn't so much our efficiency inside 50 was poor, even though the stats back that up. It was, I thought Box Hill's back line stood up. They were more solid compared to our forward line. No Jack Buller, that plays a part, and Bryn Teakle, Zach McCarthy swapping around. Zach McCarthy wasn't in the ruck, but Zach McCarthy was swapping from the forward line to the bench. Bryn Teakle from the ruck to the forward line. Smith as well. So lack of cohesion sort of thing, even though Bobby Hill stood up when he was on the ground at times. And they were minus 20, or we were minus 29 for marks around the ground. But Box Hill, their quick transition from defensive 50 to inside 50 was better compared to us. They didn't kill us off that, thankfully. They didn't switch it up as much. And I think, and this is from Hawthorn players saying they don't like training at Dingley or the Kennedy Community Centre at night, is what I'm trying to say. But maybe that played a part as well. So it evened up the ledger there. Like it's not a neutral venue, but it's a venue they haven't scoped out or played at previously. So sort of played into our hands, even though we lost this game in the end. Yeah, forgive me for spluttering my words here. It's a Saturday morning. I'll get into the player stats, and the big talking point I reckon was Bobby Hill making progress. I'm hoping the title of this video doesn't jinx it. I did this with Reef, and he was out for the season. If Bobby Hill gets injured or something happens to Bobby Hill after this video, I will never make a title about certain player making progress. But Bobby Hill, 3 goals, 7 disposals. Even though he doesn't light up the stat sheet here, his involvement around the ground, his first quarter was quiet, didn't hit the stat sheet there, but after quarter time, he was able to lift. He played limited minutes to the end of the game. Next week, he'll play the full game, so don't expect him to be called up at AFL level unless there's a plethora of injuries that come out of nowhere. So he'll play VFL against Geelong. I'm hoping he's around the boys at the AFL at MCG next week, and then hopefully makes the trip to Sydney, either plays VFL or just sticks around the group and then plays AFL against the Eagles. So that's the goal for Bobby Hill. Otherwise, they've gone until the bye. So that's another 6 to 8 weeks, match conditioning, and then go from there. So if Bobby Hill keeps ticking the boxes, we'll be right. Trust the process, be patient, Bobby Hill just keeps doing his thing in the VFL, and he will make his AFL return eventually. Ed Allen has the tag, and it's growing on this. Too good for the VFL, not good enough for the AFL. 28 disposals, just under 70% disposal efficiency. 12 of those contested. 2 goals, 2 good goals in the third quarter. 6 clearances, 5 tackles, 7 inside 50s, and 7 score involvements. Obviously, we'd like to see Ed Allen doing this at AFL level, but he's in this weird spot, out of contract, emergency. Again, too good for VFL, not good enough for the AFL. My safe prediction for Ed Allen in 2027 is he will be on an AFL list, but I can't guarantee it's going to be at Collingwood. So a bit of a watch this space. That is a genuine watch this space for trade talks. Jacob Bryan, solid yet again, 26 disposals, just under 90% disposal efficiency, 10 marks, 7 rebound 50s, and 5 intercepts. Starting to think Jacob Bryan can make a second AFL game here in 2026. The goal for him is to be in the best 23 at some point later in the season because he's out of contract. And you'd think that's like cherry ripe for a delisting, but I still have this hope. It's starting to grow on me now that Jacob Bryan could somehow stay in the AFL squad, or Collingwood's list for that matter. He just needs an opportunity, I reckon. It's going to be hard to crack into Collingwood's back line, AFL level, so just needs to keep biding his time. I can't see him playing on a wing, being called up and playing on a wing sort of thing. I'm hoping to be wrong and that sort of thing for Jacob Bryan, but just needs to keep playing these sort of games and his time will come. Noah Howes, solid down back. I did say he was patchy when I posted on Instagram. 15 disposals, just over 85% disposal efficiency, 10 marks and 2 rebound 50s, 6 intercepts as well. He had a very good first quarter. He had to play on Brodie McLaughlin and switched it up as well on Aiden Schubert, their key forwards for this game. Brodie McLaughlin, a very good key forward in the VFL, and Aiden Schubert is a draftee for Hawthorn, another key forward for them. So, and Will McCabe as well playing as a key forward. So, yeah, not a direct matchup on anyone, but they kicked 109. So that's what I was trying to refer to about being patchy. As a key defender, Noah Howes, another good game, but in regards to direct opponent, whoever it was, as well as keeping the opposition score down to a minimum, not the case, but I'm not going to fault Noah Howes on that. Just needs to keep playing well as a key defender. You'd think Darcy Moore, Jeremy Howe, Billy Frampton, they're not going to their bodies won't hold up for the entire season. There'll be times where they have to be managed yet again, and that's where Noah Howes can knock on the door of AFL selection. TJ, much better game here. 19 disposals, 6 marks, 3 intercepts, 3 score involvements, as well as a couple of clearances and inside 50 entries. 2 weeks ago, I sort of blasted him for a bad game against Carlton. I thought it was a droppable sort of game, but he's bounced back last week and even better here. So the only issue with TJ is he does lose his head at times. If someone just gives him some physical work, it turns to a bit of a biff. So hopefully it doesn't continue, just keeps his head, stays level, and turns it into a solid performance, which is what he did here against Box Hill. So no fault with TJ, just needs to keep growing. And then hopefully, like Jacob Bryan, his time will come if he has these good, solid, consistent performances and obviously keeps improving. Positive from this game was Ty Prindable. I thought was his best game for Collingwood so far in 2026, his debut season. 15 disposals, 80% disposal efficiency, a goal, 5 clearances, 6 tackles, 3 of those inside 50 and 4 inside 50 entries. Collingwood had 7 tackles inside 50 for the game. Prindable laid 3 of them. Not a defined role for Prindable yet, whether it's at half forward, on the wing, half back, or in the middle. A little bit of everything so far, but against Box Hill, he stood up at times, and thankfully he did. Uh, he's not the accumulating type. He's the one that uses the ball very well, so that was the case here. And thankfully it was on display. Other times where he's had like 5, 6, 7 disposals in a game and doesn't have an influence or output on it. This time he did. Swaddling, 23 disposals, just under 75% disposal efficiency, 4 intercepts and 3 score involvements. Kicking is improving. It's not perfect, but it's there and just needs to keep ticking these boxes and he'll make his AFL debut at some point this season. Charlie West, technically a bad game by his standards and our standards, but 2 goals, 2 contested marks, 6 disposals and 2 score involvements. Yeah, I thought it was a bad game by his standards, but you'd think with Buller in the AFL sides, a change up forward, maybe that disrupted his momentum and his form, but 5 VFL games this year for 12 goals, So he's averaging over 2 goals a game. Hopefully that continues. He should make another AFL appearance this year. Smith in the ruck, 19 hitouts, a goal, only 3 disposals, but 5 tackles. He was solid around the ground. Max Ramsden, an AFL listed ruck. So no fault with Smith in the ruck, even though Ramsden kicked 2 roving goals in the first and third quarter, which is surprising by a ruck doing that. So I guess that's the only fault in Smith's game here in the ruck. Saxena, 13 disposals, a goal, 5 inside 50 entries, and 2 score involvements. This is not in order of ranking them from best player to the worst player. It's just grouping these players in. So Bobby Hill, Ed Allen standing out. Ryan, Howes, TJ in defence. Printable, Swaddling, good performances from first year players. West and Smith, tall players. And then you got Saxena, McCarthy, first year players. Saxena had a good game up until half time, wasn't involved as much in the second half, but Saxena's got he's got that pace and he's got underrated IQ. So I'm not too sure what that means for Saxena and AFL debut hopes this year, but yeah, he's going to be a player of the future. Same with McCarthy. He had a good first quarter, then he dropped off. 7 disposals, a goal, 3 marks, and 2 score involvements. He took a few hits early on, but he stood back up, or stood tall, got back up, kicked a goal. And yeah, first year player, tall player, so needs time. But speaking of players with hits, Sullivan got a knee to the head in the second quarter from Noah Miraz. Was assessed. I think he came back on, but then he was off. Only 4 disposals, a quiet first quarter, came back in the second quarter, then got that knee. So you'd expect Sullivan out next week, so not playing against Geelong, AFL, VFL level, so that's another injury there. Joel Cochran, spotted in a sling, so that's a watch this space. We'll find out the extent of that one. Hopefully nothing too serious or too long. Harvey Harrison, it says he's injured. I'm going to assume it's managed, so hopefully there's nothing wrong with Harvey Harrison. If he's out for 1 week only, then great. But Demartia should come back in either next week or the week after. So some reinforcement technically. Demartia provides that pace in the midfield. The goal for Demartia, finding targets by foot, good inside 50 entries, and hopefully Demartia is on track for an AFL debut. We've got these kids. They're showing up. Roan Steele in the best 23. Will Parker needs to show a little bit more at AFL level, but I'll cut him some slack. Will Hayes, now on the AFL side, Oscar Steen, Angus Anderson, and you think someone like Charlie West isn't too far away. So the kids are there, and the mid-season draft coming up, we'll find another one. Hopefully they're involved as well with the AFL team, and we'll go from there. But against Box Hill, 9-point loss. It is disappointing regarding the result, but proud of the effort, just like the AFL. Box Hill are a solid VFL side. We've got Geelong next week, another solid VFL side. They're back in the top 6 mix. But 2 wins, 3 losses, 14th spot could go down further on the VFL ladder and possibly 2 and 4 after next week. I'm not too sure where we're playing next week. It should hopefully be at 12:05 p.m. on a Saturday, broadcast on the ABC, whether it's at the KGM Centre or as scheduled now at Victoria Park. Any updates on the VFL, rescheduled, relocated, follow me on Instagram. I'll provide the updates there. But a draw against Hawthorn Thursday night, a loss against Box Hill Friday night. 2 good games, just no wins to show for it. But proud of the efforts. I'm much better now. Shit week, but I'm hoping to have a good weekend. I watched the Geelong v North game. That's a Saturday twilight, Cardinia Park, opposition study. No uploads from me on Sunday. I'm hoping to have a few uploads on Monday and Tuesday, but that's verbal updates. Any changes, you'll hear from me first. But I'll leave you guys all to it. I hope you guys have a good weekend. Please be well, please be safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Up the pies.